Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome in. Happy New Year. It is the first Tuesday of 2026, which means it's time to wrap up December 2025. This is Yeah Nah, Hell Yeah, as it says on the screen. And as always, kick it off with a couple honorable mentions, things I did not get to in the month of their release. I'm going to go bottom to top this one. Headwreck, Attitude Adjustment. These guys have the coolest merch that I've found around. It's very kind of PS2 era coded. Even the artwork for their album art feels a bit Jet Set Radio Future. They've got the Liberty spikes on their, I believe that's their vocalist. Or maybe not, he's not holding the mic. Anyway, one of their members has Liberty spikes. Their presentation is just so cool and fun and throwback. Musically, it's good, but it's not unique. It's that very Aussie newcore, I've seen it called, and I think that's pretty appropriate. That's kind of new metal inspired metalcore. I would put the origin point at Ocean Grove with albums like Raspberry Tapes, but Alpha Wolf is probably your biggest proponent of it these days. If you like those bands, you'll probably love this. I don't mind those bands, but I find them to kind of get a bit thin after less than an album's worth of music, so not for me. But the merchandise, highly recommend checking out their merchandise if you want an album that looks like a Need for Speed Underground PS2 game in the case and everything. Really cool. The other one is one that I've been a bit iffy on, and I've seen the discourse online too. It's called Mika Akakuma. The album's called Goddess Complex. Came out in July. They call themselves a VTuber, and that's their VTuber metal. I can't tell if this is AI or not. And the artwork, the album artwork, 100%. I can see a lot of tells, a lot of asymmetrical elements where there should be symmetry that an artist would know. The music itself, though, could just be a VTuber type thing where they don't want to show their face. The vocals feel very real. The instruments could go either way. It doesn't sound obviously fake, but that's an easier part to duplicate these days. And I've looked online for discussion around this, and a lot of the online discourse is it's probably AI, but it's done to a point where it's really hard. It's really hard to tell. There's no classic tells in it. There are some moments where you're just is that weird production on the vocals, or is it just that kind of AI fry that you kind of get? Musically, it's good female-fronted metalcore in that kind of very Spirit Box way, or that metalcore version of Evanescence way. You've heard it a million times before. It's got great screams. It's got really melodic cleans. It's kind of being done to death right now. And kind of being done, you can find plenty of bands in your local scene doing this, most likely. So, look. This is good to listen to, but it's even in the online discussion I've seen, it is breaching that topic of if this is AI, it's good, and is it okay to listen to? Anyway, into the actual December releases, because we are actually going to have to get this. Zavleg, with a new EP, Hippopotamonstrous Quiptoleptophobia, which is the fear of long words. And I think that is very fitting for this artist. It is a 5-track EP. Let me pull it up. I got that right. And all of them have extremely long names. And yes, one of them is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Really leaning into the bit with their stupid name. You can look up what their stupid name means. It's an anagram. It stands for something ridiculously silly and vulgar. It's from... Yeah. This band's been in a bit of turmoil. I don't have my notes tab open. That's why I'm struggling right now. Give me a second. There we go. There's been a bit of drama in this band of late. The band kind of split. A lot of the members of this band are also in Vulvodynia. And Vulvodynia kicked out their vocalist, who was also the vocalist of this band. But then this band, the vocalist dropped this EP and said, like, hey, Zavleg is my band. Here's the new EP. I'm continuing Zavleg on my own. And the other members have said, well, hold up, Zavleg isn't your band. And they're going to try and fight him on this. But right now, he's out of the gate first. He's got new music. They don't. So right now, this is the new Zavleg. And I couldn't care less for the drama because the riff is slamming. And that's all I really want from Slam. Slam is such a pure riff-based art form. Yeah, I just put all the drama aside, and I guess I've been chasing the high of Autopsy ever since they just faded into the night. That, yeah, I'm willing to overlook a lot for good Slam. One other thing I really love about this is just this album artwork. This is beautiful. This is why I put album artwork so large on the screen for the stream. It's just a tough. Look at that hammer. I want that hammer. That brutal artwork. There's really not much to say about it other than that. It's slam def. I've heard it called caveman metalcore, where it's just big breeze, big chugs, brain chemistry happy. If you're looking for high art, this ain't it. This is for dragging your knuckles across the ground. It's a hell yeah from me. I hope we get a second Zavleg. I hope we get 2 Christmases with Zavleg. I'm a big fan of that. Moving on, NOFX, A to H, which I believe they're doing an A to Z series. This is the first part of that series. And I believe with the, like, A to Z motif, this is meant to be kind of kids colouring in artwork style, this minimalist style. Or, like, kids' cartoon, maybe. It looks like corporate artwork. It looks like that soulless corporate art style. This looks like clip art that you see in a PowerPoint presentation. Being like, our SaaS solution rocks! And then you'd have this fucking picture. I hate it. And frankly, the release is a pretty shitty compilation as well. It's meant to be rarities and deep cuts and B-sides and stuff. Most of them suck. I would argue the ones that don't suck aren't that rare anyway. Yeah, there is a bit of soul in the artwork still. Like, they got their tattoos down right, and that's cute. The little razor blade earrings, small things. I still just don't fuck with it. That's for sure. But yeah, there are some good songs on this compilation, but I think a lot of them are B-sides and demos for a reason. There's a reason they never made the album. Hardcore 84 is on it though, and that's a sick song. That's one of their best, so yeah. If it's at least compiling them into one place you can easily find on Spotify, good for you, I guess. I don't really care for it. Is it Shag? Bottom left. Yes, that does look like it says Shag. I'm not familiar with who Shag is. You'll have to educate me on that one, Shavanilla. But yeah, overall, the release is here enough from me. Head into our backyard. Fucking Head in a Jar, unbelievable violence. I caught these guys at Quest Fest a few years ago. I think that was the one just before we went into lockdown, like literally like the week before lockdown. Crazy. Anyway, new album, unbelievable violence. And look, it's crossover thrash, and I feel like I've got a lot of albums where I say this in this month, which makes me feel really shit. I swear I do try to give these albums proper listen throughs, but like, Slam has so little variation track to track. Crossover thrash has so little variation track to track. I can't really speak at length for these genres. This is good though. It's fun. There are some really awesome songs on here. I particularly like How's Annie, Do the Hunka Chunka, because I actually recently watched Demolition Man again just before this album came out. So like I was in the mood for a Demolition Man reference. It is an underrated, awesome movie. So to be reminded of it is always cool. It's also got a couple cool features in it. Pizza Death feature on a track, Ride the Slime Pipe. Damn, it's a sick track. And 2 tracks feature... Is it Boudica? History was never my strong point. I think I've heard some people like pronounce it as a ch, like it's Italian, Boudica. Either way, sick hardcore band from somewhere north of Victoria. I would love to see them one day. I pester promoters often to be like, oi, get him down here, but I don't know of them playing any shows down here. If they did, I miss them. Getting back to Head in a Jar, though. Yeah, it's your typical crossover thrash album. The whole genre has just been doing municipal waste for many years now. And these guys do it well. I feel like they're doing it well in the lyrics department, which is where a lot of crossover falls down. You know, the peak of the genre is probably Art of Parting by Municipal Waste, and I think what really stands on that is not just the musical, it's that all the songs are lyrically fun. When you follow along with the lyrics, they tell these cute little stories that are... They're not nonsensical, but they are silly. They're very silly. And... yeah, they don't have to be whimsical either. They could just be silly, violent, like a cool Actions 80 flip. I feel like Head in a Jar have nailed that vibe. The album artwork's also pretty cool too. Doesn't really like pair with anything in the album particularly well, but it's got cool skeletons and shit like that. Yeah. Crossover thrash is really the 80s movies of genre. If you can do it right and you just make it cool and you don't overthink anything else, it just focus on being cool. Every now and then you get a Demolition Man or a Robocop or an Art of Parting or an Unbelievable Violence. My only real critique of it is that it kind of runs long. You know, there's like some 3.5 minute, 5 minute songs, 4 minute songs. That's a bit long for the genre. And by the end of it, I'm just like, this album's getting on a bit, guys, and it hasn't changed much from the start. But, you know, there's a lot worse things you can have in life. I'll give it a hell yeah. I'm going to come back to at least a couple of these songs frequently. Mainly How's Annie and Do the Hunka Chunka. Ride the Slime Pipe's one of those ones of, like, the chorus, and, like, when it gets into it, it's sick, but it's a little bit long for what it is. Which, I say that straight after saying I like Do the Hunka Chunka, which is the same length. Whatever. Hey look, it's an AI artist again, possibly. Same things I said before, everything stands still. The songs are good, the production's really clean, the people online still can't come to a decision on if the actual music is AI generated or not. It doesn't really add anything to the genre. Like, it's not a genre I love, so bands that I already know in it, like Spirit Box, like Future Static, they give me all that I need. I'm not looking for more. If I was, this wouldn't be a bad place to look. If you're okay with the vague morality of it all. But yeah, it's good. It's just You know, it's surplus to requirement. So I'm gonna put it. I'd recommend giving it one listen. Do you think it's AI generated music? Um, and then ask yourself the question of, if you do, consider if that's okay to listen to. I think that's where, like, the argument's been easy so far. Every time you see AI art, it's obvious and it's shit, so it's really easy to take this moral standpoint of, like, this is garbage and we don't want it or need it. But when it starts getting, oh, I can't tell, and oh, this is actually kind of good, it's like, huh, shit. Now what do we do? One thing that could never be faked by AI, professional wrestling, and Max Caster releasing another rap album under his name Platinum Max, Seasonal Depression. Look, maybe he's a bit depressed. He's been off TV for a while. Well, sporadically on TV. It's another one of his albums. He releases fairly frequently, which is, funnily enough, you know, if you were doing AI art, that would be a symptom of it that a lot of people point to. He's definitely real. I've seen him on the TV doing his scissor handshake. It's true. Yeah, he's really good with words. He's really good at putting his soul out there. He does these kind of like really nice lo-fi beats that aren't kind of background music lo-fi. It's more to the front. He's alright. I feel at this point this is like the 5th time or something I've reviewed him. So you're either into it now or you're not. But if you've been curious about his rap career, if you watch All Elite Wrestling and you're like, oh, is he a good rapper? Go check out his album. I like it. And finally, the last one for the month and year, Venjent, Driven by My Heart. An AI could never recreate something as absolutely fucking mad as this. I will get off the AI train. I know that's getting annoying. Drum and bass, someone who heavily documents his creation process. Famous for taking everyday sounds and stuff and mixing them into these awesome bangers. Once again, I'm reviewing a genre that I'm so casually versed in that I can't comment on the composition of the tracks, but Wub Wub Brr makes brain happy, so it's a hell yeah from me. Once again, he's got all these little sound bites in them. They're always super positive stuff about just like, yeah, you can do it and whatnot. So I think he's a really cool artist. I like following him on social media to see what he's adapting and what he's doing next. He's got all these crazy ideas, his remix of like Wheels on the Bus that he did at a music festival in a bus that like drove around the festival crowd. It was sick. Just a really cool, inventive, crazy character. Puts out really awesome drum and bass. This one also kind of runs along, but for me it is more of a background thing. I'm never actively listening to this. I'm just gonna blast it while I'm doing chores around the house and stuff. So, Venjent, it's a hell yeah for me. And that's all. December's always a quiet month. No one's really trying to release new music in December, typically. Album of the month, I'm gonna give it to Zavleg. Just slam is fun. I drag my knuckles on the ground because I am monkey-brained. And holy dooly, what a full list for the year now, and what a eclectic mix. We got like black metal, prog metal, bloody like pop metal, disco funk, hardcore, post-rock, punk rock, hip-hop, slam. Yeah, a really eclectic taste. A big fan of all of this. A lot of these I haven't gone back to during the year. Just going through it, Patriarch I haven't gone back to many times. It's a real full album experience. There's not really like singles that you go and pick from that album, so it hasn't stayed in playlists on constant repeat. You have to really want to listen to that album in full if you go and find it. Dream Theater, I'm actually very sad I haven't gone back to that. That's underrated. Playlist of favorite tunes from each release when. I can do that. Each release in the entire year, because including these ones, we've gone through 368 albums and EPs this year. I could put together a 368 song playlist, and I just might do it. Anti-Cult, I listened to the singles a fair bit. They got some fun singles. Nightlight have been spinning to death. That one gets constant plays. Barracuda, yeah, not so much. Just kind of fell off. Didn't come back to it. Malevolence is probably my album of the year. I have been coming back to that one pretty frequently. We Lost the Sea, again. Just, I have to be in a mood for We Lost the Sea. It's not music, it's fine art, it's an experience, yada yada yada. Wank, wank, wank. But it's true. I can't just put on that. It'd be like eating caviar from your fridge in the same way that you eat shredded cheese from your fridge at 3 a.m. Yeah, certain things are not made for certain behaviors. Mud Chance, sick. Came back to the singles fairly frequently on that. The Nut House, easily a contender for the top, probably number 2 behind Malevolence. Corn Dog is probably my song of the year, though. Super Cool Treehouse 2. Yeah, fun album. I enjoyed it. Drain was fun. Probably won't go back to it much. Zavleg, fun. Realistically, probably won't go back to it that much. But yeah, that was my albums of the month. Talking about the whole year, if I had to... God, I hope I haven't deleted that list yet. Here we go. I've been through, in no particular order, because I couldn't be bothered going through ordering them. It's too stressful. It's ranking my favourite children. My top 10 for the year, though. I'm going to give Smith Street Band, Once I Was Wild, probably one of their weakest albums so far, but yeah, still hits on every other song. Sabaton Legends, really cool. It's probably like the year I unironically got into Sabaton. The back half of the album falls off a little bit, but like constantly finding myself singing the chorus Templars. Baby No Money, great album, great live show, one of the best live shows I went to this year. They kind of... I feel they're drip feeding every single before the album comes out. Makes me appreciate the album less. And I feel like that impacted other bands during the year too, like Super Cool Treehouse 2 by Seth Sentry. Also drip fed the entire album beforehand, so like I don't get the album, I'm like, whoa, look at this, I finally have the whole album. I'm like, oh cool, you compiled the 16 singles that you've released this year so far. Okay. Ring Ring the Nut House, yes. Corn Dog is just a banger. One of the most like production-wise disappointing shows I've been to though. Just Upstairs Cherry Bar at the New Cherry, fucking garbo. Hope to never see another band there. And particularly because it's such a low stage in a low roof room. It's a very long, so like already visibility's a problem. Rin Rin is very short on top of that. There was almost no visibility the entire gig. It was kind of funny if I didn't pay money to be there. 360 out of the blue. Boy howdy was it out of the blue when 360 came back. And as a Reformed Christian, wild. Anything could happen. Malevolence, where only the truth is spoken. Froth Malevolence. Malevolence is one of the greatest gifts I've received in life from Connor. Just being like, hey, check out this band. I'm like, whoa. And again, one of the best shows I went to this year. Battlesnake, Dawn of the Exultants and The Hunt for the Shepherd. Really cool. I see their name a lot and I've just never bothered listening to them, and now I understand why I see their name on so many posters around Melbourne. They're a sick band. I'm yet to see them live, and it looks like they have a high production stage show with a lot of costumes and shit. Kind of looks comparable to that Simpsons Doom band, Dr. Colossus. So I'd be keen to check that out. The moment I got into them, they did a huge European tour. I'm like, oh, guess I won't be able to see them until they come back to Australia. Nightlight, how's it feel? As I said, really fun. Keep coming back to it. An anti-cult revelation of intoxication again. Really fun. So, them are tops of the year. Best gig I went to, international, probably Malevolence at Stay Gold. I had just an absolute blast. I put on such a good show. The crowd was awesome. The pit was absolutely terrifying because, like, this is gym bro hardcore, so everyone there is, you know, throwing arms like you do in a hardcore pit, except all those arms are like concrete pillars wrapped in kebab sticks. Monstrous men beating the shit out of each other. Terrifying. Really cool band, though. It just made me want to go, yeah, I need to lift more weights. Let's go. We're going to hear a lot more Malevolence in 2026, baby. Local show, Valhalla. Well, local Australian show, Valhalla or Howler. I got to see Triple Kill, always a pleasure, but Valhalla just put on a international quality show. Down to, like, just how they structured their set, the lighting rigs and everything. It's a real high production, international level production that just other Australian bands aren't doing. So, good for them. I believe they are now getting overseas, which is good. They deserve it. I hope they blow up. They've put hard work into it and constant work into it. And then outside of that, best movie I saw, Chainsaw Man, Grizzly Arg. I saw it 3 times in the theaters. I've never done that with a movie before. Just my heart. Dawn of War would take out the best game, which, even though it's a remaster of a game that's like 20 years old, fight me. And yeah, that's probably my top things for the year. And my favourite people, all of you, of course. It's my wife's number 1, but you know, you're all great too. I just didn't marry you.